Hey guys, this is Adam with TAT Express, and today we're going to go over a fuel pump failure on a DD15. We're going to go over the steps that we took to find it and the steps that we're going to take to repair it. So make sure to subscribe to us and hit that notification bell so you know next time we release another video. If you got a comment or concern about your truck, make sure to leave it below and we'll be more than happy to help. So let's get right into this.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Okay, so the fuel pump is the heart of the fuel system on the DD15. Of course, from the 60 series fuel pump to a DD15 fuel pump, these are completely different. The fuel pump for a DD15 is almost the size of a starter. You can see how large this is. Now, the way that this pump is designed, of course, is gear driven. This is the gear that drives the pump. There's a shaft that runs right here inside the pump and it rotates. When that shaft rotates, it has journals on it with tappers. What it does is when that's turning, it's up and down, pushing pistons up and down to create pressure. Now this is a two-stage pump. What that means is it has a low side and a high side. The high side is what's gonna build the pressure up and come out through here and send it to the rail. The low side is gonna be the back side of the pump. What that's gonna do is draw the fuel from the fuel tanks up to the pump. Now, this is the fuel pump that actually failed. We're going to go over some steps that we found to pinpoint why this pump failed or how it failed. So let's get right into that. Okay, so what happened and how this pump fell? So the customer calls us with a complaint of a loud ticking noise. Okay, so he sent us some videos. He went ahead and shut the truck down. He didn't want to run it any further. Now, this is a good idea. Anytime you hear any kind of irregulars in your engine, especially metal, any ticking noise, you want to shut the truck down completely. You don't want to move this truck. Try to move it as minimal as possible, but avoid moving this truck for long distances. Okay, so this truck was towed into us. We went ahead and started the truck up so that we can hear it ourselves. And what we heard is a loud ticking noise right around the fuel pump air compressor area. Now, since we've had experience with this in the past, we knew right away that this is going to be the fuel pump. Now, the way we were able to verify that it was a fuel pump is by pulling the fuel filters. We currently have the fuel filter module removed so that we can get the pump out. But what we did is we checked this while this was on the truck. Now, this is a two-filter system, as you can see. When we pull this small filter, what we notice right away is metal shavings in the fuel filter. This is an indication that we have something failing on the fuel system side. Now, since the fuel pump was making the noise that it was making, this is what really pointed us in the direction of the fuel pump. When we pulled the larger fuel filter, there's metal shavings in here. It's kind of tough to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my hand. Currently, I have a little bit of metal on my hand. Let me wipe this off real quick. So I'm gonna wipe it off right here on the table. You can see I don't have anything on my fingers. I'm gonna pull my hand in here and wipe off this metal that we find. As you can see, metal shavings all in the fuel pump or the fuel pump filter housing. Okay, so along with the noise, we didn't get any check engines. Not all the time you're going to get check engines with this type of failure. This is considered a mechanical failure. Now, the pump is still able to keep the truck running. It's still able to make fuel pressure, but it's making this real loud noise. You don't want to run the engine longer than it's needed when you have a failure like this. So we did find this failure. We're going to go ahead and replace this pump with a brand new pump. We're going to time it, everything get put on correctly. New fuel filter housing. We're not going to replace the fuel filter housing, excuse me. New filters. We're going to flush this out, get everything cleaned up for him, and we're also going to make sure that none of this metal made it into the fuel tanks. Now, since he was able to shut this truck down pretty quickly, we are pretty confident that he's not going to have any metal in his tanks. So this is what we found with this particular job. We're gonna, as I mentioned, we're gonna replace this fuel pump, get it back on, get everything back together, and he should be good to go back on the road. So as I mentioned, the driver was able to shut this truck down immediately, and this is good practice. So say for example, he decided to go ahead and run this truck longer. What's gonna end up happening is, of course, the fuel filters are working to filter out this metal that's coming out of the pump. Now, over time, what's happening is these fuel filters are not gonna be able to catch all this metal and eventually make it up to the injectors. DD15s have what they call smart injectors. They're very low tolerance injectors. They are made for performance and for fuel economy, but they're not very durable. Okay, so if you got any kind of contaminants that go into the fuel system, you can damage your fuel injectors. So this particular job, just the fuel pump, if he would have ran it any longer than that, then he would have been looking at more damage, fuel injector damage, more costs, more downtime. So it's good practice. If you hear anything irregular from your engine that could be causing some problems, make sure to shut down and get it to a shop ASAP. Okay guys, so I hope you learned something from today's video. If you got any comments or concerns about your truck, make sure to leave us a comment below and we'll be more than happy to help. Make sure to subscribe to us if you're not subscribed to us yet, and turn on that notification bell so you know next time we release another video. So until next time, be safe.
I came from the mud.